Bearcat basketball action with you tonight. We're getting set for the national anthem played by our Glenrock High School band, so we will take a pause for that. Glenrock High School band performing our national anthem as we get ready for 3A boys high school basketball action tonight. Live from Glenrock, Tom Stokes along with Mark Andrews. Looking forward to a great game here. This should be a really good game. Getting a pretty big crowd coming in here on the Glenrock side of things as people are really excited about this Hooters team this year. The Glenrock boys 9-1 on the season. Their only loss coming a 1-point loss a few weeks ago to the top-ranked team in the state, Torrington. Otherwise, they are undefeated on the year and come into the game with, let's see, how many game winning streak? 5-game winning streak as we come into tonight. The Hooters last weekend, a couple of good games for them as they win last Friday against Thermopolis, 83-55, and a really exciting, thrilling game up in Newcastle last Saturday night saw the Hooters defeat Newcastle 66-65 in double overtime as the Glenrock Hooters come into tonight's game with a 9-1 record. The Douglas Bearcats overall are at 6-4 on the season as we make it a little over halfway through the year tonight. Bearcats coming off kind of a hot and cold weekend last Friday night. Coach Gaiman said the team was just about a half step off, out of sync all night as they fell to Wheatland at home 87-85. Nathan Rolfe had 28 points to lead the Bearcats in that game. Then Saturday, boy, what a turnaround for the Bearcats. The highest scoring game of the year. They got that fast-paced, breaking, running game they liked so much. They really got that cranked up, and they ran up 104 points on Guernsey down in Guernsey last Saturday night, defeating the Vikings 104-62 as 6 Bearcats got into double figures in that game. Bearcats were led last Saturday by Nathan Rolfe with 18 points, Todd Welch 16, John Hardy and Tom Tomlin 15 points apiece. Jeff Philo had a season high of 13 against Guernsey, and Mike Lehman added 12 points. And also Saturday against Guernsey, Tom Tomlin had 13 rebounds. Really strong on the boards for the Bearcats last weekend. Should be a great game tonight. We are definitely looking forward to this one. Of course, every time these two teams get together, these cross-county rivals, it's always a good game. We had some really terrific games between these two teams last year. In fact, they ended up meeting 3 times as they met in the opening round of the regional tournament as well last year. They were all terrific games, and this one should be no exception as we get set for opening action tonight here from Glenrock High School. It's the Bearcats against the Hooters in this cross-county rivalry. The two teams will be playing again 2 weeks from tonight in Douglas as we get prepared here for the announcement of the starting lineup. Talking with Coach Tony Lehner before the start of the game from Glenrock. He admitted to being just a little bit surprised at the great start that the Hooters are off to this year, being ranked second in the state in the last AP poll. I saw they were tied for second with Lander, and he tells me that they have a strong starting lineup, don't have a whole lot of depth on the bench, but their starting lineup has really come through. We'll talk a little bit more about what to expect from the Hooters as we get into the game. Right now we're getting set for the introduction of our starting lineup. We'll first start with the visitors tonight, the Douglas Bearcats. Starting in the backcourt will be number 22, John Hardy, a 5'11" junior for the Bearcats. And the other guards tonight will be Chris Caskey, number 23, a 5'10" senior for the Bearcats. At center for Douglas, number 51, Mike Lehman, a 6'1" senior. The forward, Todd Welch, a 6' senior, number 21 for the Bearcats. And the other forward will be Tom Tomlin, a 6'3" senior for the Bearcats. Tom wears number 53. Head coach is Rich Gaiman for the Douglas Bearcats. Assistants Randy Seeds, John Hepp, and Mike Marcus. And your starting lineup for the Glenrock Herders tonight, starting in the backcourt, number 23, Jake Hager, a 6' senior. The leading scorer for the Herders is Jake Hager. Also in the backcourt, Marty Miller, number 33. He's also a 6' senior. And along the front line, they'll go with number 51, Brian Martinson, a 6'2" senior. Number 41, Chris Aaron, a 6'4" senior. And Jason Copas rounds out the starting lineup, number 31, a 6'4" senior for the Glenrock Herders. Head coach for the Herders is Tony Lehner. Assistant Roy Kampula and Dan Eager for these Glenrock Herders tonight. Hager and Marty Miller, the two big guns for the Glenrock Herders. They're very dangerous from three-point range. Both of them average several made three-pointers each for the Glenrock Herders and provide the bulk of the scoring. I'd say they provide at least half of the scoring for the Glenrock Herders. Coach Lehner was telling me before the game that what he's really looking for here as the season wears on is to try and get a little bit more offensive production out of his front court. They haven't had a whole lot of scoring out of their front court, but Marty Miller has been a good surprise for the Herders this year as kind of a streak shooter last year. He had some great games. He had some not so great games, but Marty Miller has been very consistent and really taken a lot of the load off Jake Hager for the Glenrock Herders. Looking at the Bearcats tonight, not starting for the Bearcats tonight, their leading scorer, Nathan Rolfe. I understand he missed a weightlifting session earlier this week, and because of that, he won't be in the starting lineup, but he will be seeing considerable action, I'm sure. So the Bearcats will have Nathan Rolfe coming off the bench tonight as they go with Lehman, Tomlin, Welch, Caskey, and John Hardy in the starting lineup. And we're just about ready to get things underway here at Glenrock High School. Glad you could be along here on KWIV for Bearcat basketball action tonight. It will be Mike Lehman going up against Chris Heron for Glenrock as we get set for the opening tip. The Bearcats will be going to our left. Long kick comes to Jake Hager. He brings it across midcourt, pulls up at three-point range off to the near side. Here's Miller. Three-pointer blocked out of bounds by Chris Caskey for the Bearcats. So Glenrock comes out firing from three-point range. Inbound pass goes inside to Copas. His little short shot won't go. Rebound taken by Hardy. He'll bring it across midcourt for the Bearcats. To Welch. He'll put it up just in. They'll give him the three-pointer on just outside the line. They'll say three-pointer. No, they'll say two. They'll say he was on the line, so a two-pointer for Welch is back the other way. Here's Hager. Drives into the lane, pulls up. Shot won't go. Welch tries to save it on the baseline, and he steps on the baseline. So Herders will get the ball under their own basket. Jake Hager will play the ball in. Pass comes in to Miller. Jumper on the baseline is short. Rebound comes to Mike Lehman. He gets it off to Hardy, who brings it across quickly. Dishes off for Caskey. Open on the near wing. His shot way off the mark. Pulled down by Heron for Glenrock. He gets it off to Hager, who brings it across midcourt. Pulls up near side. Looking inside. Pass tipped around, but Martinson chases it down. He has the ball three-point range here in the near corner. Up top to Miller. Out to Hager. Hardy goes for the steal, doesn't get it. Lehman comes up on the defense. Now Hager will try the three-pointer. It's blocked out of bounds as Hardy comes over with it. Hardy comes over for the block. It goes out of bounds. Glenrock will play it in. Second block of the game for the Bearcats, as Miller had a three-point attempt blocked away earlier. Pass inside, tipped away, stolen away. Caskey comes out with it. Long down court pass. A little too long for John Hardy. And it goes out of bounds. Turnover by the Bearcats as Coach Gaiman up off the bench telling his players to settle down a little bit. Just getting things underway. Bearcats lead it 2-0. Pass on the near wing to Miller, looking inside for Heron, and coming around from behind swatting at the ball. That's Lehman. They'll give Lehman the foul on the baseline. First foul on Mike Lehman, and the first team foul for the Bearcats. Herders play it in. Pass comes inside. That's Copas who misses, and it's followed up by Chris Fearon. He follows it up, and we're tied at 2 with 6.5 minutes left in the quarter. Bearcats back the other way. It's Hardy with the ball up top over to Caskey on the near side. Hardy cuts down the wing. Long jumper won't go. Fall-away jumper no good, but there's Mike Lehman to follow up. Basket is good as he puts it right back in. Bearcats back up 4-2. Pass comes on the near side to Huron. To Miller, open from three-point range, off the back of the rim, no good. Rebound tip. Hardy comes out with it. Bearcats running 3-on-2. Hardy takes it all the way. Shot won't go, and we've got a foul. Let's see if they call the charge or the block, and they'll give it to Marty Miller for Glenrock, blocking foul. Hardy couldn't get the shot, but he draws the foul. Marty Miller picks up the personal, his first, and the first team foul for Glenrock. And that will send John Hardy to the line for 2 shots. Fast-paced game here so far. First free throw by John Hardy won't go. He'll get one more. Second one on the way. It's no good either. Misses them both. Hardy usually a pretty good free throw shooter. Long rebound is chased down by Copas. He gets it off to Hager, who brings it across midcourt. His pass on the near side goes to Martinson. Shot is short. Might have been partially blocked by Tomlin. Ball is tipped around underneath. It goes out of bounds. They'll say last touch by Glenrock. Bearcats will get the ball leading at 4-2. Hardy brings it across midcourt. Hager applies pressure. Pass comes to Caskey. Gets past Miller. Dishes up to the free throw line for Lehman. Shot won't go. Rebound pulled down by Copas for Glenrock. And he'll get it off to Jake Hager. Bearcats playing something a little different on defense tonight. A triangle and 2. As they'll play man-to-man against Miller and Hager, and a zone the other way. There's a jumper by Miller. Shot won't go. Followed by Kieran. Tips it once, no. Tips it twice, no. Martinson comes out with it. Gets the pass off to Copas in the lane. And Copas puts the ball up and in. Jason Copas with the basket, and we're tied at 4. Hardy gets it on the high post to Lehman. Covered by Martinson. They swing it around on the far side for Welch inside for Tomlin. Turnaround shot a little bit short. And Miller pulls down the rebound for Glenrock. Long down court pass intended for Huron. And Tomlin high in the air to steal it away. He gets it off to Hardy. Nice job by Tomlin. Here comes the pass. Goes to Welch on the near side. And reaching in, that's Miller. Second foul on Marty Miller. One of the 2 players Glenrock can't really afford to get into foul trouble. And with the 2 fouls, Miller is going to come out. Nate Dyer into the game for the first time. Dyer is a 6-foot sophomore. As the Bearcats will play it in under their own basket. Cross-court pass here comes to Lehman. Tries to drive in on 2 people. Falls down. They'll call the traveling violation as Lehman tried to force his way between a couple of herders. And he gets called for the traveling violation. We're tied at 4, not quite halfway through. This quarter been kind of fast-paced, but not really high-scoring. Hager pulls up for the three-pointer. It won't go. Welch loses the rebound underneath. That's Dyer who gets the steal and the easy layup. And Glenrock takes the lead for the first time at 6-4. Here comes Hardy back the other way. Gets past Hager. Goes up with it. Blocked from behind by Hager. And Hager hits Hardy as he goes up with it. Shot way off, but Hardy was fouled. Hardy doing a good job of drawing fouls here in this first quarter. First one on Hager, and that's the 3rd team foul on the Herders. And Hardy will be back to the free throw line for 2 more. First one rims around, no good. 0 for 3 now from the line. 4:13 left in the quarter. Second free throw on the way by Hardy, and he gets this one. Cuts it to a 6-5 lead for Glenrock as Hager will bring it across midcourt. Drives near side, still 3-point range, covered by Hardy, off to Dyer on the near side, up top for Martinson. They swing it around for Hager. Baseline far side for Huron. To Copas at the free throw line, up top for Hager. They set the pick. He can't get it off, though. Gets it off to Dyer. His 15-footer won't go. Hardy pulls down the rebound. Bearcats trying to run. Dishes off to Lehman, looking inside. Pass is tipped away. And trying to save it on the baseline. That's Caskey. As he tries to save it, the ball hits the back of the backboard. So Glenrock will get the ball. Checking in for the first time, it's Nathan Rolfe for the Bearcats. He'll replace Caskey for Douglas. Bearcats trail 6-5, 3:33 left in the first quarter as Hager brings it across midcourt. Near side to Dyer. Inside for Huron. They swing it back up top for Hager. Wide open for the three. He's got it. From downtown, Jake Hager hits the three-pointer, and the Bearcats trail it now 9-5. Inbound comes to Hardy, gets it to Rolfe at midcourt. He'll bring it across and now pull up. Cross court for Welch on the near side, just inside three-point range, covered by Copas. And we have a traveling violation called on Welch as he got the kickback pass, went inside and kicked it back out, and trying to get around the taller man Copas for the long jumper. He travels, turnover by the Bearcats. Glenrock up 9-5, pass near side to Martinson. Back up top for Dyer. Looking for Hager, he's open on the far side. Three-pointer, a little too hard, tipped by Martinson, no good. Follow-up by Copas, won't go. And we've got a foul as he goes up with it. Should be on a Bearcat here. Let's see who they give it to. Mike Lehman picks up the personal. And Huron will go to the line. He'll get 2 free throws. Caskey back in the game for Douglas as Todd Welch will sit down for the Bearcats. First free throw on the way, and it's up and good. Jason Copas hits it. He'll get one more as Glenrock now up 10-5. Second free throw off the side of the rim, no good. Dyer gets the rebound, has it stripped away by Lehman, and Tomlin comes out with the ball, gets it off to Hardy. Bearcats, now they'll slow things up to get the pass out to Caskey up top for Lehman. Drives through the free throw line, running one-hander, a little too hard. Rebound pulled down by Copas. Gets it off to Hager, who brings it across midcourt. Takes the three, pass inside, that's Martinson wide open. Bearcats had a defensive lap that time as they came out on Hager for the three-point attempt, and he found the man wide open underneath. That was Martinson who gets the basket. Bearcats lead at 12-5, and we'll take this time out for some Bearcat boosters for you on KWIV.
For all your insurance needs, call Brooke Butcher, your State Farm Insurance agent in Douglas, 358-2996. Brooke Butcher and State Farm wishing the Bearcats good luck. Complete professional care and health with inpatient services and extended outpatient clinic is your hospital, Converse County Memorial Hospital in Douglas. And another Bearcat sponsor, Converse County Bank, is truly a hometown bank.
One left in the first quarter. The Bearcats trail 12-5 to these Glenrock Herders. Glenrock coming in, riding a 5-game winning streak, a 9-1 record overall, and they're showing why right now. Bearcats will play it in. Caskey, Rolfe, Lehman, Hardy, and and Rolfe and Tomlin driving all the way. That's Hardy. Layup won't go though, as he was a little off balance. Herders come out with the rebound and pulling up. That was Hager. Started to pass and had to pull up as the defense came up, and he stuttered to step a little bit. Traveling violation on Jake Hager. Bearcats get the ball back. 2 minutes left in the quarter. Here's Hardy, pass in the high post for Lehman. Has the ball knocked away, but Caskey comes up with it. Back to Lehman working, that's Tomlin. Jumper won't go, a little bit too hard. Glenrock out with the rebound once again. They get it to Hager, and they'll set things up. Dyer to Copas at the free throw line. Back out to Hager with Hardy covering him. Bearcats in a full man-to-man defense right now. Pass inside for Huron, blocked, but we have a foul. Copas went up for it, but we have a foul on the shot. Could go against one of a couple of different Bearcats, and they'll give it to Tomlin. Kind of looked like Tomlin had all the ball. Nathan Rolfe was coming over. I thought if anyone had a foul, it was Rolfe. But Tomlin picks up the personal, his first, and the third team foul, and going to the line is Jason Copas. His first one won't go. Welch checking back in for Douglas. He replaces Mike Lehman for the Bearcats. Bearcats trail 12-5 as Copas sets for the second. That one won't go. Tomlin fighting with Dyer for the rebound, and they'll call Dyer with the foul. First foul on Dyer. Nate Dyer picks it up, and that is the fourth team foul for the Herders. Bearcats will play it in. Still trailing 12-5. For the quick tempo, it's been a low-scoring game, and we have a foul away from the ball as Hardy brings it across midcourt. Going to call the foul on Nathan Rolfe, I believe. Away from the ball, trying to battle for position. And that's who they call it on. No, they call it on Tomlin, his second. So an offensive foul, and Herders get the ball back. Pass comes on the near side for Huron. To the free throw line, goes to Copas, back up top for Hager, three-point range, covered by Hardy. Tries to drive on Hardy, gets a pick, but Tomlin comes out, and Hager has to pull it up, gets the pass off to Martinson, tries to get it back to Hager, but he travels before he gets the pass off. Turnover forced by a tenacious Bearcat defense that time. A minute left in the quarter, but the Bearcats down by 7 points. Pass inside, looking for Tomlin. And the pass was way outside. Tomlin couldn't gather it in. It goes out of bounds. Pass from Hardy intended for Tomlin goes out of bounds. Another turnover for the Bearcats. And we have another foul underneath, away from the ball. Another offensive foul, this time against Herder. And this one will go against Copas, as he was battling with Tomlin, I believe. Boy, Tomlin and Copas really battling away from the ball right now, and fifth team foul will give, they'll give the free throws to Todd Welch for the Bearcats. Welch gets the 1-and-1 opportunity. That was the fifth team foul. Free throw won't go. Rebound pulled down by Huron. He gets it off to Jake Hager, who will bring it across midcourt. Pass on the near side for Martinson, covered by Rolfe, three-point range. Tries to drive against Rolfe, gets down to the baseline and can't get any further. Pass for Hager is over his head, goes into the backcourt. Welch chases it down, easy layup. Todd Welch gets the basket for the Bearcats. 12-7 with 24 seconds left. Herders lead it. Here comes Hager, gets it off to Martinson up top. To Dyer at the top of the key. Near side for Huron, pass is tipped away by Welch. Stolen, here comes Welch. Gets it off to Caskey, drives in, lays it up and in. 5 seconds left. Nice fast break by the Bearcats. Nice dish off by Welch. Bearcats, long down court pass goes to Martinson for the Herders, as the Bearcats didn't get back on defense that time. Unfortunately, the clock was running out for Glenrock, and the fourth quick shot by Martinson is no good. And our score at the end of one quarter, Bearcats cut that lead down a little bit. It's Glenrock 12 and Douglas 9, and we'll take a look at some Bearcat boosters for you. Joey's Welding, John Hardy, Chris Caskey, Tomlin, Nathan Rolfe, and Todd Welch, I believe, out there. Glenrock with the same five they finished up the quarter with. As the Bearcats get the ball, first pass comes near side for Todd Welch, tries to drive down the baseline on Copas, and he's called for the traveling violation before he takes off. So another turnover for the Bearcats as Marty Miller checks back into the game for Glenrock. As he checks in there for Huron. Ball on the near side to Dyer, up top for Martinson. Martinson drives in, now has the ball tipped away, stolen away by Tomlin, gets across midcourt. Tomlin tries to get the pass off, and it was behind him, stolen away by Copas, and Copas called for the traveling violation as Hardy was right in front of him. Copas kind of stumbled over Hardy, so the traveling violation gives the Bearcats the ball back. Long pass comes to Caskey at the top of the key. Far side for Welch, three-pointer off the side of the rim, no good. Rebound kicked out of bounds by Hardy for the Bearcats. He was trying to get around Dyer. Dyer had the position, and Hardy did well just to get a hand on the ball. It goes out of bounds. Herders will get the ball. Glenrock leads at 12-9 as Hager gets the pass near side to Miller, back up top for Jake Hager, working against Hardy. They set the screen, but Hardy gets through it. Up top now to Dyer. Near side for Copas to Miller, 1 foot on the line, bounces around, won't go. Rebound tipped around, Hardy pulls it out, comes up the far sideline, into the lane, dishes off, And we'll have a foul as Hardy dishes off. And if that's on Miller, it will be his third. Let's see. They'll call it on Copas. No, they will call it on Miller. 33, Marty Miller picks up his third foul. So tough break for the Herders, as one of their top players out more than likely for the rest of the quarter with 3 fouls. Hardy going to the line for the 1-and-1. First one a little bit too hard. Trying to save it on the baseline. That was Chris Heron, and he does save it. He knocks it off of Welch and out of bounds all along the baseline. So the Herders will get the ball. Hardy having a tough time from the free throw line here. They set the pick for Hager once again. He gets past it and coming over late. Hardy gets him late. The shot was missed, but Hardy's going to pick up the foul. First foul on Hardy, and that's the 15th foul now on Douglas. So Jake Hager going to go to the line for the 2 shots. And Glenrock will shoot free throws from here on in. First one on the way by Hager. It's up and in. He'll get one more. Second one, it's up and it's nothing but net. Herder lead back up to 5 points at 14-9. Here's Hardy coming across midcourt. Pass on the near side for Caskey. They find, there's Caskey alone on the baseline. Shot won't go, but there's Tomlin for the follow-up. Tomlin gets the offensive rebound. Bearcats show a full court press here. And coming across midcourt, that's Martinson. Has it knocked away from him from behind by Caskey. Goes out of bounds on the far sideline. And Glenrock will keep control of the ball. Hager gets it off, drives in the free throw line, kicks it back out. They get it to Dyer at the top of the key. As he tries to drive, he travels before he takes off. Traveling violation on Dyer. And the Bearcats will get the ball back. They trail 14-11 with 6:20 left in the first half. Pass on the near side goes to Welch inside for Hardy. Reverse layup. Up and in. John Hardy gets a nice move there. Full court press again by the Bearcats. Lead is down to 1 point. Pass stolen away by Caskey in the forecourt. Gets it off to Welch for the long jumper. It won't go. Rebound tipped out of bounds. Last touched by Hardy, they'll say. So Glenrock will play it in. Bearcats had a chance to get the lead back, though. But they can capitalize. Glenrock leads at 14-13 as Hager on the offense. Drives through the free throw line. Dishes off to Martinson. He brings it up top. His pass for Hager is tipped high in the air. And last touch by Hager goes out of bounds as Hager and Hardy kind of bump into each other. Hardy looking for the foul. No foul, but the Bearcats will get the ball. Checking into the lineup for the first time for Glenrock. It's number 25, Drew Rafferty. He'll replace Martinson. So a smaller lineup here for the Herders as Hardy gets the inbounds and brings it across midcourt. Looking inside for Tomlin, kind of an alley-oop there, kind of off. Tomlin tries to tip it back out, but is controlled by Glenrock. Hager comes up with the loose ball. Looking inside, pass comes into Kieran. His shot partially blocked. Bearcats come out with it. Here's Nathan Rolfe running, dishes to Hardy on the baseline. He has to try and save it. Gets it back to Rolfe. Shot won't go. There's Welch with the follow. No good. Tomlin finally gets it to go in. Bearcats get 3 chances that time, and Tomlin finally capitalizes. Bearcats lead it 15-14. Full court press again for the Bearcats. Rafferty gets it across midcourt, almost loses it. That's the pass off to Heron coming down the baseline. He loses control as Tomlin was coming up on the defense. Goes out of bounds, another turnover for Glenrock. And the Herders want a timeout here. They've lost the lead. Bearcats up 15-14 with 4:52 left. Let's take a look at some Bearcat boosters. 4:52 left in the second quarter. The Bearcats have fought back. They trailed by 7 points, but have come back to take the 1 point lead at 15-14. As Glenrock took the timeout there, Bearcats moved into that full court press and started causing a few more turnovers. Glenrock wanted to talk it over. Bearcats will play it in. They have to go to the length of the court. Long pass comes into Nathan Rolfe. He'll bring it across midcourt. Gets it off to Lehman, who's back in the game. As Hardy sits down, his pass through the hands of Tomlin. Dyer comes out with it. Back the other way. Gets it off to Hager for the 3. Nothing but net. Jake Hager buries it. Just like that, Glenrock back in the lead by 2 points. Here's Caskey, dishes off to Tomlin. Long 15-footer by Tomlin is short. There's Lehman underneath for the follow. Bank shot won't go. Tipped up around, and Dyer comes down with it toward Glenrock. Gets it off to Rafferty, and he'll come across midcourt for the Herders. Working against Caskey. Caskey goes for the steal, and he's going to pick up the foul right across midcourt. First on Caskey, and it will send Drew Rafferty to the line. Rafferty, a 5'9" junior for the Herders. Rafferty gets the 1-and-1 opportunity. Free throw on the way, and it's good, so he'll get one more. Brian Martinson checking back into the game for Glenrock. He'll replace Copas for the Herders. Bearcats with Lehman, Tomlin, Welch, Nathan Rolfe, and Chris Caskey in the game. Second free throw by Rafferty is up and in. Bounce pass comes to Rolfe. Long down court pass to Caskey inside for Tomlin. Turnaround shot won't go, and we've got a foul on the rebound. I believe this will go against Todd Welch. As it looks like Martinson, who had the possession, Welch trying to go over the back, and he picks up the foul. And it's Dyer they'll send to the free throw line. Nate Dyer for Glenrock. Herders lead at 19-15. Bearcats had moved back to a 15-14 lead. Dyer's free throw around the rim, no good. Tomlin pulls down the rebound, gets it off to Caskey. Long down court pass for Welch on the baseline. 13-footer a little bit too hard. Martinson pulls down the rebound. He gets it off to Hager. Herders back the other way. Hager gets around. Rolfe drives into the lane. Tries the little underhand pass for Huron, and Huron wasn't ready for it. Let it go right past him. It goes out of bounds, and the Bearcats get the ball on the turnover. Rolfe pass on the far side in for Welch. They find Lehman underneath. That was Caskey. His shot won't go. Long follow by Tomlin won't go. Bearcats get the ball back again, and Caskey sets up top. Pass on the near side. Tomlin tips it off to Welch. Coming up on the defense. Dyer tips it. It goes off Welch's leg and out of bounds. Nice defensive job by Dyer that time for the Herders. Forces the turnover. And John Hardy checks back into the game for the Bearcats. He'll replace Caskey as the Herders get the ball. Hager will bring it across midcourt. 3:22 left in the first half. Herders lead it by 4 points. Pass goes to Martinson, just a foot inside three-point range to Dyer. And Dyer travels as he tries to get around Todd Welch, tried to cut into the lane. Traveling violation on the sophomore, Dyer. Bearcats get the ball back, trailing by 4 points. Hardy comes across midcourt, dishes it off for Welch. Trying to set up Welch for the three-pointer there, but he was covered. They get it back outside. Pass inside on the high post for Tomlin is tipped. There's Rolfe who comes up with it at the top of the key. Lets it go from three, and it's good. Nathan Rolfe gets the three-pointer, and the Bearcats cut the lead to 1. Herders breaks the press this time. Huron underneath was open, and he lost control of the ball after the pass from Martinson. A break for the Bearcats. Martinson does tip the ball off of Tomlin along the baseline. It goes out of bounds, but the Herders will get the ball back, but they miss out on this fast break opportunity. Long pass comes to Rafferty, tipped away into the forecourt by Hardy. Rolfe chases it down, goes up against Hager. It's up and in. Nathan Rolfe gets the basket for the Bearcats. Hager back quickly the other way. Drives through the defense, shot, dishes off to Huron, shot won't go, and we've got a foul. As Jake Hager coming across the court that time, weaved his way through 4 Bearcats, found the open man underneath Huron, and he was fouled as he went up. They'll call the foul on they'll call it on Nathan Rolfe for the Bearcats, number 54, his first. In for the first time for Douglas, it's Jeff Philo checks in. He'll replace Welch for the Bearcats. Bearcats lead at 20-19. As going to the line, it's Chris Huron. He has 2 shots. First one bounces around, won't go. One more for Huron. He'll look to tie the game up at 20 here. Free throw on the way, and it's good. We're all tied up. Inbounds comes to Hardy. He brings it across midcourt quickly. Looking inside for Tomlin. It's through his hands. Philo tries to save it, and he can't do it. Boy, ball went right through Tomlin's hands that time. And Philo couldn't save it here on the near sideline. Glenrock plays it in. Inbounds comes to Hager. He'll bring it across midcourt. Gets it to Heron on the far side. Looking inside. Now they'll get it to Martinson. 12-footer on the way as Martinson came open, and he gets the basket. Ryan Martinson, basket for Glenrock. They go up 22-20. Here's Hardy. He'll pull up from 16. Shot drops, and he's fouled. Drew Rafferty came over late trying to get a piece of the shot, and he gets a piece of Hardy instead. The ball kind of hung on the back of the rim there, and everyone just kind of stopped for a minute, and eventually the ball fell in. So John Hardy has a chance for a three-point play here for the Bearcats. Basket drops, and now he'll get one free throw. He's had a tough time from the free throw line so far tonight, but he gets this one. John Hardy completes the three-point play. Bearcats up 23-22. 2:03 left in the quarter as the Bearcats show press once again. Hager gets across midcourt. Now has it tipped away from him by Rolfe. Comes back up with it. Hager does in the backcourt. Inside, pass inside for Heron, and he gets hit by Nathan Rolfe going for the ball. The Douglas crowd doesn't like it, but a good call there as Nathan Rolfe gave Heron a good shot that time from behind. Second foul on Rolfe for the Bearcats. And Heron will go to the line. He'll get the 1-and-1 opportunity. Chris Heron. Free throw on the way. High arcing shot is up and good. We're tied back up at 23. And Heron will look to give Glenrock the lead once again. It's on the way, and it's short. Lehman pulls down the rebound, gets it off to Hardy, who brings it up quickly, working against Hager. Off to Lehman. They have Rolfe on the far side, open for three. It's no good, and we've got a foul on the rebound. Let's see who they'll give it to. And it will be on Drew Rafferty for Glenrock as he battled with Philo on the baseline. Second foul on Rafferty, and going to the line, it's Jeff Philo for the Bearcats. Philo coming off a 13-point game last week against Guernsey. Free throw on the way. It's good, so he'll get one more. Bearcats back up by 1 point. Second free throw. Bounces around, and it drops. Philo hits them both, and the Bearcats up 25-23. Full court pressure, actually three-quarter court pressure. Hager now brings it across, working against John Hardy. To Rafferty, covered by Philo. Rafferty gets into the lane, puts the bank shot up, no good. Tomlin can't hang on to the rebound. There's Rafferty, puts it back up and in. Drew Rafferty came up with the loose ball in the lane. Pass comes to Lehman. He'll try to drive down the lane. Out of control, loses control of it, tries to tip it back, and it's stolen away by Martinson. He gets it off to Hager. Here's Hager back the other way. Fakes once, puts the banker up from 10. It's up and good. Jake Hager, a nice job as he faked out two Bearcats on the fake. They jumped past him, and he put the shot up. Bearcats back the other way quickly. It's Philo up top to Nathan Rolfe. Rolfe tries to spin on Martinson. His pass on the far side intended for Philo goes out of bounds. And the Bearcats turn it over. 46 seconds left in the first half. Inbounds comes to Jake Hager. Bearcats trail at 27-25, and it looks like Glenrock might just hold things for one shot here. Martinson has the ball on the near side. Nobody comes out on him. Now inside to Heron. Turnaround up and good. 25 seconds left. Bearcats trail at 29-25. Pass goes to Tomlin, drives to the free throw line. His pass, bad pass for Hardy, and he can't save it. Coach Rich Gaiman not real happy right now, as the Bearcats have had two sloppy passes there. And Glenrock could move this lead back out to 6 points here in the final minute of the quarter. 15 seconds left as Hager gets across midcourt. Hardy comes out on him. To Martinson. Still up top. His pass stolen away by Lehman. has Martinson to beat. He goes up, misses it, followed by Tomlin is up and good, and that's the end of the first half as the Bearcats cut it back down to a 2-point lead. Our score at the end of the first half, it's Glenrock 29, the Bearcats 27. A good first half there, a close game just like we expected. And our score at halftime, it's Douglas 29 and Glenrock 27. Coming up here at halftime, we'll have our halftime statistics from Mark Andrews and also talk a little bit about what our other teams at Douglas High School are doing here in the past weekend, coming up this weekend. Right now we need to let you know about some of those Bearcat boosters who bring you Bearcat action here on KWIV in Douglas. Mini-Mart, your full-service convenience store in Douglas, where you can shop for just the kind of game we expected it would be. The Herders lead it on their home court, 29-27. Glenrock had a 12-5 lead early in the game. With about 2 minutes left in the first quarter, Glenrock up 12-5. Bearcats hit a couple of baskets, though, to head up to 3 points after the end of one quarter. Glenrock led at 12-9 after one quarter, and eventually the Bearcats pulled out to a 1-point lead at 15-14 just to see Glenrock come right back and hit about 6 straight points, and we kind of went back and forth from there. And at the half, the Bearcats trail at 29-27. We'll take a look at what our other schools, our other teams, that is, at Douglas High School are doing right after we remind you of a few more Bearcat boosters. Get great meals in a warm, friendly atmosphere from Glenrock. Douglas, good weekend last weekend, as they only had one game, but it was a big win for them as they took on Wheatland, a girls team that's gotten off to an awfully good start this year, and the Bearcats handed Wheatland only their second loss of the year down in Wheatland last week, winning it 55-45. A very close game in the first half as the Bearcats led at 31-30. Then pulled away in the second half thanks to some very strong defense. At one point had a 55-38 lead, a 17-point lead, before Wheatland scored the final 7 points late in the game. And the girls won that one 55-45. And quickly we'll talk about our swimming team. Boys swimming, their second weekend of action last week. Bearcats, in fact, all but one of the Bearcats swimming times during that Saturday meet was an improvement from last week, so Coach Roberts was very happy to see that. Also, a Saturday at the Douglas meet, Toby Traynor set a new school record in the 400-meter freestyle, a new record time of 4:37.96. So congratulations to Toby Traynor for setting that new school record, taking a complete the three-point play. Sets, shoots, it's up and good. So the Bearcats cut it to a 1-point lead, 31-30 on the three-point play by Caskey. Here's Hager getting across midcourt. Stopped now by Caskey. Gets it outside to Miller. Up top for Hager. They swing it around, get it inside to Copas. His shot banks no good. Copas chases down his own rebound out to Hager for three. It's up and good from the top of the key. Jake Hager buries the three-pointer. Bearcats back the other way, trailing once again by 4 points. Here's Lehman back to Hardy up top. Glenrock pass on the near side. Caskey going inside for Lehman. Lehman cut the other way, didn't even see the ball come, and Jake Hager comes out with the ball. Turnover again by the Bearcats. On the near side, it's Martinson with the ball, back up top to Hager. Drives to the top of the key, gets it off to Miller, gets away from Caskey. Stopped by Lehman. Looking inside, they find Kieran, tries to get the pass on the baseline to Copas. He can't hang on to it. It goes out of bounds. So the Bearcats will get the ball back. Hardy across midcourt. Glenrock in a man-to-man defense. Hardy's pass tipped away, stolen by Hager. He tries to save it, but it goes to Tomlin. Tomlin gets the dish off back from Lehman. Inside the lane, Tomlin goes up with it, and someone grabs his arm as he goes up with it. We'll have a foul called on a Herder. Let's see who they give it to. Looks like Kieran is going to pick no. It will be Jake Hager who they'll call it on. Second one on Hager, and the second team foul on Glenrock. Sends Tomlin to the line for 2 free throws. His first one up and good. Tomlin has been a pretty good shooter from the free throw line for the Bearcats this year. Second one on the way. Tomlin really has made a lot of strides this season. He's really improved in the off-season. Coach Gaiman called him a diamond in the rough, and he's really improved as the season has gone on. Glenrock finally gets it across against that full-court press. Pass comes to Huron. It looks like he travels. They'll call the jump ball is what they'll call as Huron tried a jump pass, and it was tipped away, it looks like, by Todd Welch. They'll call the jump ball, another change of possession. The Bearcats are going to get the ball in their own backcourt. Hardy brings it across for the Bearcats. Picked up by Hager near side to Welch, three-point range. Drives down to the baseline, looking inside for Tomlin. Pass tipped away, stolen by Martinson. Up to Huron, drives all the way. Shot won't go, but we'll have a foul on Lehman on the fast break. Lehman will pick it up for the Bearcats. 5:50 left in the quarter. Third foul, I believe, on Mike Lehman for the Bearcats. So he's the first Bearcat with 3. Marty Miller playing with 3 for Glenrock. And going to the line, it will be Chris Huron for 2 free throws. Herders lead at 34-32, make it 35-32 as Huron hits the first free throw. Second one by Huron. Bounces around and it drops. And they'll stop the clock, stop play here for a substitution. Nathan Rolfe back into the game for the Bearcats as Lehman will sit down with those 3 fouls. Bearcats trail by 4. Hardy will come across midcourt, picked up by Hager. To Lehman at the high post, gets it across the lane to Rolfe, working against a double team. Shot is good, and he's fouled. They'll pull it on Jake Hager again. Really kind of looked like a forced shot by Nathan Rolfe, but he gets it to drop and draws the foul on the double team as Hager came over late on the double team. And they won't call it on Hager. They'll call the foul on Jason Copas. As Rolfe tries to complete the three-point play, he misses the free throw, and Copas gets the rebound. So, second foul on Copas. Glenrock with 3 team fouls. Here's Marty, gets it off to Hager. Long three-pointer on the way off the side of the rim. That was almost an NBA three-pointer that time. Tomlin got the rebound. He gets it off to Welch, who gets it to Hardy. Hardy up top gets to Caskey on the far side, drives down to the baseline. His ball pass tipped away, stolen by Miller, off to Hager, and he'll bring it across midcourt for the Herders. Bearcat trail 36-34. Hager still with the ball as the Bearcats back in that triangle and 2 defense. Martinson with the ball up top. They leave him open in three-point range. Now to Copas. His turnaround jumper from the free throw line is short. Rebound stolen from Rolfe, taken by Martinson, and his pass goes out of bounds. As I'm not sure who he was looking for on the baseline. There wasn't a Herder down there. Goes out of bounds. Bearcats get the ball. Hardy brings it across midcourt. Gets it on the near side for Welch. Cuts down the baseline. Dishes off for Hardy. Nice little pass. Hardy can't get it. Rebound is tipped away from Huron by Tomlin. It goes out of bounds, so Herders will get the ball. Nice effort by Tomlin that time. He didn't get the ball to come down, though. Goes out of bounds. Back the other way. Miller fakes the three-pointer, now drives past Rolfe. Down the baseline over to Martinson. Now turn around by Huron in the lane. Assist from Martinson goes to Huron in the lane. He gets the turnaround shot to drop. Bearcats back the other way. Welch on the near side. Up top for John Hardy. Calls for the team to set up. Cutting down the baseline. That's Welch. Gets the pass. Little turnaround jump hook won't go. And Huron pulls down the rebound. He gets it off to Jake Hager. Double teamed. Tries the running one-hander. It's short. And the rebound on the ground finally taken by John Hardy. Hager forced that one. As Hardy drives in, he'll pull up on the 14-footer. It's too hard. Air ball taken by Copas for Glenrock. He gets it off to Hager, who brings it back the other way for Glenrock. Near side for Miller, three-point range, covered by Caskey. Drives up top, puts up the long jumper, no good. Rebound tipped by Caskey, taken by Tomlin for the Bearcats. So Miller still looking for his shot tonight. Driving down the baseline, that's Welch, misses the layup as he got past Copas, and Copas pulls down the rebound. He'll get it off to Hager. He brings it across against Hardy, gets it to Miller, wide open for a three, and he buries it that time. Not a Bearcat within 8 feet of Marty Miller that time. And give him that much room that often, and eventually, you know he's going to start hitting those. Bearcats now trailing by 7 points. It's 41-34, and we'll take a timeout for some Bearcat boosters.
KeyBank.
A lot, Mark. The Bearcats looking for a 3-game sweep here tonight, but they're trailing here in the varsity game, trailing 41-34, 2:53 left in the quarter. The other games tonight, junior varsity saw Douglas win handily, 81-46, and in the freshman game tonight, boy, if it were a prize fight, it would have been stopped in the first round. Final score of the freshman game tonight, Douglas won that 91-11. The Bearcats win the freshman game by 80 points tonight. That's a game I'm almost glad I wasn't here for. Boy, that must have been a disappointment for the Herder fans. As we get back to action, Lehman and Rolfe back into the game for the Bearcats. Hardy with the pass down on the baseline intended for Rolfe, and Rolfe was halfway out of bounds when he went for the pass. That's an out-of-bounds violation. Not a very smart play by the Bearcats that time. Here's Dyer back in the game. His pass in the lane intended for Huron, stolen away by Nathan Rolfe, and we could have called the charging violation on Rolfe that time as he pummeled Martinson coming down the court, but they'll call the traveling violation instead. Maybe a bit of a break for the Bearcats that time, as Nathan Rolfe wasn't even looking for Martinson and just really decked him good that time. Here's Miller with the ball for Glenrock. Gets it off to Martinson. Wasn't ready for it. Miller has to save it. Goes halfway up in the stands, but he saves it to Martinson. His pass on the baseline for Huron is behind him. It goes out of bounds. And the Bearcats will get the ball as Coach Lehner is up off the bench for the Herders. Both teams are a little bit sloppy here tonight as Hardy comes across midcourt. Hardy drives to the near side, gets it to Nathan Rolfe working against Jake Hager. And they're going to call Jake Hager with I hate to say bad things about the Bearcats, but it really looks like Nathan Rolfe really put
rammed into him.
Yeah, put the football shoulder block into Jake Hager that time. A bit of a break for the Bearcats, as the referee was kind of out of position to see that one. He was behind the play. Pass comes into Caskey on the baseline. Three-pointer, no good. There's Lehman with the follow, banks it too hard. Rolfe with the follow, and we've got a foul on the rebound. I believe this will go against a Herder, and they're pointing in the direction of Chris Huron. Bearcats doing a good job on the offensive board tonight. They just can't get those shots to drop. Foul on Chris Huron, that's his fourth, and the fourth team foul on Glenrock. Bearcats with only one team foul here in the half. As Rolfe goes to the line, he'll get two. First, I guess that was the fifth team foul. Rolfe's free throw wouldn't go. Here comes Glenrock the other way, cutting down the baseline. Miller goes up. It's blocked from behind by Lehman, but they'll call the foul. Call it on Nathan Rolfe. Excuse me, that was Rolfe with the block from behind rather than Lehman. And Nathan will pick up the foul. That's 3 on Nathan Rolfe for the Bearcats. Still 41-34 as we come back to action here. They'll say foul before the shot, so Glenrock will play the ball in. Here's Hager on the baseline. Cuts outside, shot a little bit short. Hardy pulls down the rebound for the Bearcats. He brings it across midcourt, covered by Hager. No one open as he pulls up on the dribble. Gets it off to Rolfe, loses control of it. Rolfe and Martinson battle for it. It goes out of bounds at midcourt. Last touch by Martinson for the Herders. No scoring here in about the last 2 minutes. Herders still lead at 41-34. Pass comes in to Lehman. His pass tipped away by Hager. Taken by Tomlin on the baseline, and he loses it out of bounds. They'll say knocked away by Huron. So the Bearcats will keep control of the ball. 1:21 left in the quarter. Hardy plays it into Rolfe on the baseline. Little spin move as he gets past Huron, puts up the shot up and good. Nice move by Nathan Rolfe that time for the Bearcats. Cuts the lead down to 5 points. Martin gets across midcourt on the pressure. His pass tipped away by Hardy, and it goes out of bounds.
It's about 2 points in the garbage can there.
Well, he'll have to work on that shot in practice.
Yeah.
A minute 5 left as the herders played in at midcourt. Hager with the ball. His pass inside, tipped away, now stolen by Hardy, going up against Miller. Shot won't go, and who will they call it on? Will they call it on Miller or the charging? And they'll say charging on Hardy as they'll say Miller got set. That's probably the hardest call to make for an official, I think, is was that player set or was he not? Should it be charging? And they'll say Miller was set, so give the charging foul to Hardy, his second and the third team foul for the Bearcats. Hager comes across midcourt, finds Miller open, and it goes right through his hands. Tomlin comes up with the loose ball. He gets it off to Caskey. Miller finally comes out on Caskey. He gets it off to Rolfe up top for John Hardy, covered by Jake Hager. Gets it off to Rolfe. Rolfe cuts down the baseline, drives in, shot is up and good. Nathan Rolfe, strong move down the baseline. Rolfe hits it again, and the Bearcats cut that lead to 3 points. Hager gets it off to Martinson across midcourt to Dyer for Copas. His shot off the back of the rim, no good. Rolfe pulls it down, and with 10 seconds left, foul in the backcourt. That's going to go against Copas, I believe, on Glenrock. Kind of a situation of he was just kind of trying to get out of the way and couldn't do it fast enough. Ran into Nathan Rolfe. And with 10 seconds left, Nathan is going to go to the line for the 1-and-1 opportunity. How many points does he have in the quarter so far?
Oh, he's doing great. He's got 6 points in the quarter. He's 4 for 5 from the field.
Free throw won't go. Long rebound pulled down by Dwyer for Glenrock. He gets it off to Hager with 3 seconds left. Gets the screen from Martin. Three-pointer on the way, and it bounces around, no good, and that will be the end of the third quarter. Our score after 3, it's Glenrock 41, Douglas 38, and we'll take this time out for some Bearcat boosters for you. The people of Antelope Pool Nurko are working to build their lives around a community they enjoy living. Long shot won't go underneath. That's Kieran with the follow-up, though. Bearcats got caught not blocking out that time, and Chris Kieran gets the follow-up basket. Back the other way, there's Tomlin with another one. A high-arcing one-hander over Kieran. He gets it. Tomlin hits his second straight basket. The Bearcats back up by 1 point. Up top for Martinson. They swing it around. Miller open for 3 off the front of the rim. No good. Rebound Copas. His shot won't go. Hager gets the follow. He gets it, and he's fouled. Glenrock gets 3 shots that time, as the Bearcats not doing a very good job in this fourth quarter of rebounding. Basket counts, and the foul called on Chris Caskey for the Bearcats, his second. Hager looks to complete the 3-point play. Free throw on the way, and it's good. Jake Hager with the 3-point play. Bearcats trail at 48-46. Douglas down for it quickly. Welch gets it off to Hardy inside for Lehman. Turnaround over Martinson, way off the mark. Ball on the ground, and Marty Miller comes up with it. Long down court pass for Copas. Kept away, saved on the baseline by Lehman, out to Caskey. Bearcats come back across midcourt. They trail it by 2. Chris Caskey breaks open, cuts down the lane, and loses control of the ball. Goes out of bounds. Missed opportunity for the Bearcats that time. Looks like Herder might have gotten a hand on the ball as Caskey cut into the lane.
Tomlin was jumping on the bottom up and down waiting to see. It was wide open.
Caskey will sit down as Nathan Rolfe checks back in for Douglas. Hager has the ball just over midcourt, working against Hardy. Cuts in, pass off to Copas at the free throw line. Up top for Martinson. Three-pointer on the near side by Miller. It's on the way. It's good. Marty Miller hits from three-point range. Hardy back quickly the other way. He'll pull up from 14, and he hits the shot. 51-48, Glenrock leads it. Pass across midcourt intended for Martinson, and we're going to have a foul. I believe this will go on Welch for the Bearcats, reaching in against Martinson, and that's who they call it on. Todd Welch picks up his second. And Martinson will go to the line with the 1-and-1 opportunity. Bearcats with Tomlin, Lehman, Hardy, Rolfe, and Todd Welch in the game. Martinson at the line, 1-and-1. First one is good. Stretches that lead out to 4 points. second one on the way, rims around, and it drops. 53-48, Glenrock leads it. Hardy across midcourt quickly, working against Hager. His pass back to Lehman, saves it right at midcourt, gets it off to Rolfe behind the back dribble, drives in the lane, loses it. Miller comes out with it. Glenrock running 3-on-2. Miller will pull up, blocked out of bounds by John Hardy. Nice job by Hardy as he saves the fast break basket that time. Blocked shot as Miller pulled up. Might have been a good idea for Miller to pass off that time on the 3-on-2, but he pulled up for the jumper. Inbound comes to Miller to Jake Hager. Fakes once, now will put it up from three. It's good! Jake Hager hits again from three-point range, and the lead is up to 8 points. Biggest lead for Glenrock, 56-48. Here's Hardy, gets it off to Welch on the near side, looking for Rolfe. They get it to Lehman, 15-footer, a little too hard. Long rebound, tipped by Hardy, comes to Rolfe, and we'll have a foul on the collision with Hardy and Hager, I believe, and who are they calling it on? Foul going against Hager. Give it to Jake Hager, and that's 4 on Jake Hager. So Hager and Miller each with 4 fouls for Glenrock. But Glenrock, their biggest lead of the game at 56-48. As Hardy steps up to the line for the 1-and-1. Hardy hits this one, so he'll get one more. 3:39 left in the fourth quarter. Hardy sets for the second. It's on the way. Rims around, no good. Rebound, long rebound, tipped out to Jake Hager. Bearcats down by 7 points. Hager working against Hardy, pulls up at the free throw line, gets it off to Martinson. 15-footer, he drills it. And it's now a 9-point lead for the Glenrock Herders at 58-49. Here's Hardy working against Hager, drives in the lane, lays it up and in. Nice move by John Hardy as he gets past Hager. Cuts it back down to a 7-point lead. Pass comes to Miller across midcourt. Top of the key, gets it to Hager. To Martinson on the baseline. They find the man open. Copas open underneath. His shot is short, though. Rebound is tipped, and on the battle for the rebound, it's Lehman and Miller fighting for it. They're going to call it on Marty Miller, and he will be done for the night. The Glenrock crowd doesn't like the call, obviously, as you can tell. And Marty Miller is done for the night. He leaves the game with 11 points, I believe, for the Herders. Checking back in for Glenrock will be Dyer. Nate Dyer back in, the sophomore. 2:59 left in the quarter. As Miller sits down, Tomlin with the 1-and-1 opportunity. First free throw is short, and Dyer chases down the rebound. He gets it off to Jake Hager, who will set things up. Gets past Hardy at midcourt. Off to Martinson. Hardy going for the steal, back to Hager. Hager dribbles around the court, drives inside the three-point lane, gets it to Dwyer at the free throw line. Shot won't go. Martinson with the rebound. His free throw won't go. Copas follows, no good, and we've got a foul. I believe this one will go against Tomlin as Copas went down after he shot the ball. Tomlin with the personal. That's his third. And it will send Jason Copas to the free throw line for the Herders. I believe he'll get 2 shots. First free throw on the way. It's up and it's good. 59-51, 2.5 minutes left. And before Copas sets for the second free throw, Coach Gaiman wants a timeout for Douglas. That gives us a chance to tell you about some. 9:51, Glenrock leads it with 2.5 minutes left in this fourth quarter. The Herders have already lost Marty Miller. He's fouled out of the game, and their other top gun, Jake Hager, has 4, but the Herders with the 8-point lead, and they have Jason Copas at the line for his second free throw. Copas sets. It's on the way, and it's good. Back up to a 9-point lead, 60-51. Here's Welch, gets the ball on the near side. Three-pointer on the way, no good. Dyer pulls down the rebound. He gets it off to Hager. Gets past Hardy at midcourt. His pass tipped away, stolen by Lehman. looking to get it to Hardy. Pass is tipped. Lehman gets it back, though, off to Nathan Rolfe. Pulls up from 18, way off the mark. Dyer gets the rebound. He's tied up there with Tomlin, and that's going to go against Tomlin. Tomlin arguing about the call, but he had his hand all wrapped right around Dyer that time. He didn't have much of a complaint, really.
Maybe Tomlin was complaining because that was his fourth foul. He doesn't want to get fouled out of this game yet.
I don't think Tomlin was actually trying to reach in for the steal or anything, but as Dyer pulled in the rebound, Tomlin kind of had his arm around and just kind of got tangled up with him. Dyer goes to the line. He'll get the 1-and-1 opportunity. Free throw up and good. So the sophomore hits a pressure free throw. He'll get one more. And the lead up to 10 points with 2 minutes, 5 seconds left. Second one won't go. Lehman pulls down the rebound, gets it off quickly to Hardy on the near side for Welch. Three-pointer on the way, off the back of the rim, no good. Rolfe pulls down the rebound. As he cuts in the lane, we'll have a foul here. As reaching in, that was Dyer. They'll call Dyer for the foul and send Nathan Rolfe to the line for the 1-and-1 opportunity.
Nathan Rolfe struggling on the line. He hasn't made a free throw yet. He's had 3 shots at the line. He hasn't.
He hits one now.
Hits one now.
Make it 1 for 4. Rolfe hits the first one, so he'll get one more. Bearcats trail it by 9. Second free throw bounces around and it drops.
Maybe I should speak like that more often.
Hager fakes the long pass. Now he'll drive across midcourt. Lehman stops and gets it off to Dyer. Double teamed, and we've got a whistle as Hardy came over late and jumped into Dyer. Let's see if they give it on Hardy or Welch. And they'll call it on Todd Welch for the Bearcats. That's his third. And Dyer goes to the line, putting the pressure on the sophomore. They send him to the free throw line once again. 1-and-1 opportunity. Free throw on the way. He gets it. So one more free throw coming for Dyer. And Dyer loses the ball. that tough defense at the free throw line. So they get the ball back for Dyer. Free throw on the way. It's off the back of the rim. No good. Lehman and Tomlin fight each other for it, and Lehman comes down with it, gets it off to Hardy. Over for Welch. Three-pointer on the far side. Rims around. No good. Rebound is knocked loose, and we're going to have a foul, I believe, on a Bearcat. Tomlin came away with the loose ball and went after the basket, but and they will call a foul on Glenrock. They'll call it on Copas. Looks like Lehman and Copas battling for it. The ball came off to Tomlin. As checking back in the game for Douglas will be free throw on the way, by Tom Tomlin. Misses the first end of a 1-and-1 as Jeff Philo checks into the game. He replaces Todd Welch. Philo, their best three-point shooter. I'm sure that's what he's in there for. 1:20 left. Glenrock looking to just run the ball, or clock down now. Hager drives through the free throw line, dishes off inside for Heron, partially blocked, and Lehman comes out with it, gets it off to Hardy, pulls up at the top of the key, three-pointer, off the side of the rim, no. Philo pulls down the rebound, gets it out to Tomlin, 17-footer on the baseline. Tomlin hits it again, and we have a timeout called by the Bearcats after the made basket. Tomlin hits the jumper and cuts the lead to 62-55, and we'll take a minute or two here for some Bearcat boosters for you. Bearcats trail it by 7 with 1 minute left. Carousel Flowers and Gifts, your only FTD florist in Converse County, plus gifts and cards for every occasion. Carousel Flowers and Gifts in the Medora Plaza, phone 358-9215. Converse Lumber Company, serving Converse County with quality lumber and hardware products since 1910. Call your lumber number, 358-3151. Converse Lumber at 2nd and Oak here in Douglas. And proud to support Douglas Bearcat Sports is come out with Caskey, Lehman, Rolfe, Tomlin, and John Hardy in the game. Herders will be playing the ball in. They'll have to go the length of the court, and the Bearcats set up in a full-court press, trailing by 7 points. Pass comes into Dyer, back to Martinson. Tipped away by Lehman. They'll say last touch by Martinson. The Bearcats will play the ball in on their own baseline. As Philo checks back in for Caskey, they'll bring Philo in for the offense, it looks like. Hardy will play it in, gets it to Philo on the baseline. Up top for Rolfe, sets for a three. It's on the way. It's off the back of the rim. No good. Hager pulls down the rebound. Working against Hardy. Gets it to Dyer as Hager gets across midcourt. Dwyer drives into the line, and he's going to be fouled by Hardy. Bearcats pretty much in a position where they pretty much have to foul now just to stop the clock. Caskey will check back in. Hardy will sit down. Hardy with 3 fouls tonight. And Nate Dyer goes back to the free throw line for the Herders.
2 for 6 from the line right now. He seems to make the first one, miss the second.
First one a little too hard. Rebound tipped around, taken by Huron. His shot won't go, and on the follow, we'll have a foul called on Copas. Kind of a late whistle there. The crowd doesn't like it, but probably a good call. Copas picks up the foul, and that's 5 on Jason Copas. So Copas and Miller have both fouled out of the game. Checking in will be Drew Rafferty to replace Copas. So Copas and Miller both out. Jake Hager with 4 fouls. Back into the lineup for the Bearcats will be Welch and Philo, their top 2 3-point shooters. And once again, we have another timeout on the court. So we'll take a minute here and look at some Bearcat boosters for you. Boost your investment. 37 seconds left. The Bearcats trail at 62-55. And as we come back to action, we'll have a Bearcat at the line shooting 1-1, I believe. Copas fouls out of the game tonight with 5 points for Glenrock. And at the line will be Mike Lehman for the Bearcats with the 1-1 opportunity. Lehman to the line for the first time tonight. Free throw on the way. It's too hard. Hager pulls down another rebound for the Herders. Rolfe meets him at midcourt. Hager drives to the free throw line, kicks it out to Martinson, over to Rafferty, over to Hager, and Philo finally comes over and fouls him with 18 seconds left. Looks like this one might be slipping away from the Bearcats. Hager will go to the line with the 1-1 opportunity. Just 18 seconds left, and Glenrock leads it 62-55. First one on the way, and it's good. So Hager will get one more.
4 for 4 on the line, Hager so far.
And how many points does he have? Second one by Hager, no good. Gets his own rebound, though. The only Herder back. The other 4 Glenrock Herders were back behind midcourt, and the Bearcats let Hager get his own rebound. 4 Bearcats there, and none of them block Hager out. Ball is knocked away from Hager out of bounds. Glenrock will get the ball right back into Rafferty. And Rafferty, as he tries to get the pass off, will be fouled. That will be on Philo again. Down to 12 seconds left. Boy, that was just a terrible mistake by the Bearcats. 4 players down there, and none of them block out the only Herder there as Hager gets his own rebound. Rafferty goes to the line for the 1-1. His free throw won't go. Tomlin gets the rebound, gets it off to Welch. He'll bring it across midcourt to Philo, drives down on the corner, back out to Welch, tries to drive in, gets it inside to Tomlin. Little finger roll shot is up and good, but that's the end of the game. The Herders win it. Our final score here tonight at Glenrock. The Glenrock Herders 63, the Douglas Bearcats 57. The Bearcats fall to 6-5 on the season, and Glenrock moves to 10-1 on the year, showing why they're ranked second in the state. An impressive display by the Glenrock Herders tonight as they win it 63-57. Our final score coming up here at the end of the game. We'll be taking a look at final statistics and also talking with head coach Rich Gaiman on his thoughts on tonight's game. Right now, we've got a minute or two for some Bearcat boosters for you here on KWIV in Douglas. Proud to support Bearcat Sports, Boland's Food Market at 130 South 4th Street, your complete grocery store with quality meats and produce at reasonable prices. Boland's Food Market wishes the Bearcats the best of luck. Also sponsoring the Bearcats this year, Curtin's Packaged Liquor. At Curtin's, they're never low in spirits. Use their convenient drive-up window. Curtin's is a proud Bearcat booster and wishes the Bearcats the best of luck. Curtin's in downtown Douglas. And another Bearcat booster for you. Get great meals in a warm, friendly atmosphere at Fat Ed's Cafe at 11th and Richards. Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with daily specials. Treat the whole family to a great sit-down meal. Or for carry-out, call to the hometown herders, the cross-county rivals. As I mentioned, the Bearcats we'll have a chance here for revenge. 2 weeks from tonight, these same two teams meet in Douglas, and we will have that game here on KWIV as we take a quick look at our Bearcat broadcast schedule for you, just to let you know what's coming up as far as Bearcat games. Our next broadcast will be a week from tomorrow night. The Douglas Lady Bearcats will be hosting Jackson 5 on the year. The Bearcats will be home tomorrow night. They'll be hosting the Thermopolis Bobcats, a team that is really struggling this year, 0-8 on the season. Thermopolis has lost every game. Hopefully just the kind of remedy the Bearcats need after a tough loss tonight, losing to Glenrock tonight, 63-57. We'll be taking a look at our final statistics here coming up shortly. Right now we'll take a quick run through what some of our other teams in the 3A ranks are doing, kind of a little bit different setup for the 3A ranks this year, as there are 16 3A teams set up in 4 districts. Douglas in a district with Torrington, Wheatland, and Rollins, the Southeast District. Torrington with an overall record on the year of 9-0. They're the top-ranked team in the state. The Bearcats now with a 6-5 record. Wheatland I have with a 4-4 record. Of course, they got that win over Douglas last weekend. And Rollins at 2-6 overall on the season. Taking a look at the other teams in this half of the state in the Central District, which are the teams that the Southeast teams will be playing in the first round of regionals, a combined district playoff for the regionals this year. Glenrock now moves to 10-1 on the year, the only team with a winning record in that Central District, as Newcastle at 4-5 on the season, Buffalo at 1-7 on the season, and Thermopolis at 0-8 on the season. Those are overall records for 3A boys teams. Just a quick look over on the western side of the state, if you're kind of thinking ahead maybe towards who we might be looking at in games at a possible state tournament, should the Bearcats make it there. Lander, the best record in the western part of the state. They're 8-1 on the year. Lander moving down from 4A this year. A couple of other teams to really watch for as far as the western part of the state goes on the boys' side. Lovell, a team that defeated Glenrock, or defeated Douglas during that Christmas break road trip. Lovell is 8-3 on the year. And Star Valley, always a tough team. They're 7-2 on the season in boys basketball action. On the girls' side, the Douglas Lady Bearcats heading into tonight at 7-2 on the year. Wheatland also at 7-2. Torrey Herders 63-57 our final score, and we'll get set for a visit with Coach Gaiman and also final statistics from Mark after we tell you about a few more Bearcat boosters. The hometown Herders defeat the Bearcats 63-57 our final score, as Douglas falls to 6-5 overall on the year. As I mentioned, the two teams have that rematch coming up 2 weeks from tonight in Douglas. The Bearcats will be at home tomorrow night, as they'll be hosting the Thermopolis Bobcats. And again, Saturday night, we'd like to see a big crowd up for the final home wrestling meet of the season for the Bearcats, as they'll be hosting Wheatland in a dual meet that starts with varsity at 6 o'clock, or excuse me, junior varsity at 6 o'clock, and varsity at 7:30 for the wrestling meet Saturday night. Final home meet for our Bearcats. We'd like to see a big crowd up there for our Bearcat wrestlers. Getting set for some final statistics here in a minute or two. Let's run through a couple of more Bearcat boosters for you. Right, team they can rebound against. Thermopolis really having a tough season so far this year, winless on the season. And the Bearcats 7:30 for the varsity game tomorrow night, 6 o'clock for junior varsity, and 4:15 I believe, for the 5:45 for the junior varsity, and 4 o'clock for the freshman game tomorrow. All those games at Douglas High School. In case you missed those scores earlier in the junior varsity game tonight, it was Douglas winning the junior varsity game 81-46, and in the freshman game 91-11. The Douglas Bearcats win that freshman game tonight. And we do have head coach Rich Gaiman stepping up to the table for us. Well, Coach, we knew it was going to be a tough game tonight, and Glenrock showed why they have that good record.
Well, they did, and I'm awfully disappointed in that. I think that's probably the worst game we played all season. We looked like it was the first game of the season for us. We didn't take care of the ball. We turned the ball over 17 times at halftime, and it was just real ugly. We didn't show any type of knowledge of any execution whatsoever. We had the first time all season that we had people playing as individuals. We had 3 people playing hard, 2 people taking a nap on the floor. And we've got some work to do if we're going to be competitive. If we continue to play like this, we may not win another ball game.
Yeah, of course, it was an awfully fast tempo game, at least a pretty fast tempo for, I know it looked a little bit faster than what Glenrock wanted to play, but even then, still a pretty low-scoring game. Neither team really shot that well tonight.
No, we played, right into their hands. We didn't score when we took the perimeter shot. Consequently, we weren't able to get into the press. We shot, I think, a total of only seven times with about a minute and 12 seconds to go in the first quarter. And that's very uncharacteristic of us. We were shooting and nobody was rebounding. We're relying on every shot that we put up is going to go down, and our players are already heading down the floor, ready to play defense. And it was just a pretty dismal display of basketball tonight.
Yeah, one thing that I thought really hurt was there late in the game when you had Jake Hager at the line. He missed the second free throw, and there wasn't even a Glenrock player back, 4 Bearcats back, and they let Hager get the ball.
Basic fundamentals, you're absolutely correct, and that was typical of our production all night. We were, I think, in la-la land. I'm really disappointed in our performance, and I have to hand it to the Glenrock Herders. They're a good basketball team. They're in my opinion, I think they're deserving of the number 2 ranking. And one other thing that I think that hurt us drastically is the fact that we shot, I think less than 50% from the foul line. And when crunch time, rolled around, in the fourth quarter, we were fouling the wrong people, and they were putting, we put Jake at the line in the last couple minutes of the ball game, and he calmly knocked down the free throws that needed to keep the margin of victory between them and us. I told them all along, that if we were able to contain Jake Hager and Marty Miller, that we'd be successful.
And with Marty Miller out most of the game in foul trouble, but we thought maybe that might make it a little easier for you, but it didn't seem to be the case.
We got virtually nothing out of Nathan Rolfe. We virtually got nothing out of Mike Lehman. And I don't mean to single those 2 players out, but as a team, we simply were flat. We shot poorly. I can't think of any bright spots in our game. I think that John Hardy, hustled and played well, but
Tomlin was a bright spot for you tonight. He really hustled.
He scored for us, but he didn't rebound very well. When Glenrock shot the ball, they were getting 2 and 3 shots and getting 1 or 2 putbacks, whereas we would come down and shoot the ball, and if we made it the first time, fine. If we didn't, we didn't get a rebound. They'd get the ball and they'd push it down the floor, and we can't, we just can't do that. We've got to have some putbacks.
Okay, so we're a little over halfway into the season now. Kind of maybe a step backwards tonight. What do you need to do to get back on track now?
Well,
do you think?
I think number one, we have to do a very definite attitude adjustment. In terms of where we're at, what people we're playing, and if in fact some of our players, I think, may be getting a little complacent. Thinking that they're seniors, and simply because they're seniors they're going to play. And that's not my philosophy. My philosophy is that you're in your playing time Monday through Thursday, and if they work hard in practice and do the job on the floor, then they're going to play. And that's exactly what I told the players before I came out and got on your radio show. There is a wealth of talent, but all the talent in the world isn't going to win ball games for you unless you have the heart and you get out and do the job.
Okay, and let's look ahead. You have a home game tomorrow, a team that hopefully you should be able to hopefully get well against tomorrow, a Thermopolis team that hasn't won all season.
No, I guess I'm getting a little gun shy right now in that, in high school athletics, on a given night, any team, can certainly pull the upset, and, we can't afford to overlook the Thermopolis Bearcats, and I can tell you for a fact, that if we play as we played tonight, we'll be in for a real dogfight, and, we have to make some better commitments and ultimately, hopefully, improve our game, and I think we will. I'm not going to panic, and I gave them a pretty stern end of the game wind down, and our players are licking their wounds a little bit right now. They're not feeling real good about their production this evening, and neither am I. And it's okay to hurt, and not I certainly don't want them to get accustomed to losing, and I'm not a very good loser. Tomorrow night will be a different ball game. I just the chemistry of our team. I don't know if you could call them biorhythms or what, but they certainly. We're in a valley tonight, and I suppose tomorrow, they'll probably be up. It's great to have a tremendous one-loss season, but that one-loss season doesn't do you any good at all if you don't qualify for the state. And I've always said that each game we try to improve on our mistakes, and right now, we're digressing somewhat. And I'm being very frank. Last weekend we had a couple of valleys. We had a real big valley, I suppose you might say, in the Wheatland game. Turn around and the old Jekyll and Hyde syndrome, we have to just play with more consistency.
Before these games, do you ever get an indication of whether it's going to be one of those games tonight? Or
you don't. I thought that, from a psychological and a mental standpoint, I thought they were as well prepared to go out and play the game, before the game even started. We came out, we had a great pregame warm-up, and, if I had that innate ability to predict the performance of high school athletes, I'd be wealthy. I'd be a very wealthy man. But anytime that you're dealing with 15, 16, 17-year-old high school athletes, there's no way of predicting, how they're going to perform. You can prepare them, you can hope, and, the coach, on the other hand, is doing basically the same thing. And what it amounts to is a chess game. And, the Herders won the game tonight. We'll get a chance to play them again. We'll probably end up playing them again in the regional tournament. And, we're going to obviously be pointing to our home game with them. It seems to me like, we have 2 or 3 teams that, we're going to get an opportunity to repay the favor at our place. So, all's not lost, and we haven't certainly given up the ship, and, we're going to go back and we're going to work hard, and, we're going to use positive reinforcement with our players, and we're going to give them, some positive thoughts and some good strokes, and tomorrow will be another day.
Okay, Coach, well, I appreciate you coming over here for a few minutes, and we'll wish you good luck tomorrow night.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Head coach Rich Gaiman, his thoughts on the Bearcats game tonight. Bearcats lose it 63-57, our final score, as we get set to take a look at some final statistics here with Mark Andrews, and then we'll get set to roll on out of here tonight.
Oh, thanks, Tom. I don't know. I think it was a pretty close game through the whole game. Didn't you think so? Or?
Well, they kind of
of 4 points, and also scores were Drew Rafferty with 1 for 2 on the field, 2 for 3 on the line with a total of 4 points. And the other person that got fouled out was Marty Miller. I was surprised. We were talking that he was the big shooter. He didn't really score much. He was 1 for 9 from the field, 3 for 5 from the three-point range with a total of 11 points, and he didn't really get his three-point shot into work till about the middle of the third quarter. And, of course, he fouled out at about the middle of the fourth quarter, I think it was, Tom. And that gave the Herders about a 14 for 48 from the field and 6 for 13 from the three-point range, 17 for 27, about a 50-50 from the line. And, of course, that giving them a total of 63 points. For the Douglas Bearcats, scores, well, the big scorer for Douglas Bearcats was Tom Tomlin with a total of 14 points. He was 6 for 12 from the field and 2 for 4 on the line. Other big scorers for Douglas Bearcats was John Hardy with 13 points. He was for 5 for 10 from the field, 0 for 2 for 3 points. He tried for a couple of 3 points near the end of the game, trying to get some extra points and try to give the Bearcats the win for the game. He was 3 for 8 on the line. John Hardy struggling on the line there with a total of 13 points. Also 13 points with Nathan Rolfe, 4 for 6 from the line, 4 for 6 from the field, and 1 for 3 from three-point range and 2 for 5 on the line. Also big other scorers for the Bearcats, Todd Welch, 3 from 8 from the field, 0 for 4 from the three-point range. Also another person trying to score at the last minutes with those three-point shots. He was 0 for 2 on the line, gave him a total of 6 points. Also Mike Lehman was 2 for 11 from the field, 0 for 1 on the line with 4 points for the total game. Chris Cassidy was really struggling from the field. His 2 for 17 from the field, 1 for 1 on the line, giving him a total of 5 points. And then Jeff Philo in the beginning of the game had 2 free throw shots, so he's 2 for 2 on the line. I think the coach was saying that they were less than 50%, which they were. 22 for 54 from the field, 1 for 5 from the three-point range, and 10 for 23 on the line. And that's about it for stats. Nobody actually got fouled out for Douglas Bearcats. Closest one were Nathan Rolfe and Tom Tomlin. Turnovers really really played a part in the game. A total of turnovers for Glenrock was 29, and for Douglas Bearcats were 21. And that's about it, Tom, for stats.
Okay, thanks a lot, Mark. Our final statistics from Mark Andrews. Our final score, once again, Glenrock wins it over the Bearcats, 63-57. Just a quick reminder for our folks listening in Glenrock tonight, we are planning on carrying the Glenrock Herder games in the regional tournament up in Buffalo. The regional tournament runs this year February 28th through March 2nd. So listen to KWIV, and we'll bring as much of the Glenrock Herder boy and girl action from regionals coming up at the end of the month, and hopefully state tournament too. Hopefully we'll have our Herder teams in there along with our Bearcat teams at the state tournament in Casper the 7th through the 9th of March. Our final score once again tonight, it's Glenrock 63, Douglas 57. Our next Bearcat broadcast will be a week from tomorrow. We'll have the Lady Bearcats as they host Cheyenne Central, 6:30 p.m. game as the Lady Bearcats in action, and we'll have our next broadcast then. Our next boys game will be the following night, a week from Saturday, the boys game from Buffalo starting at 7:30 here on KWIV. For Mark Andrews, I'm Tom Stokes saying thanks for listening, support our Bearcat boosters, and let's go back to the station.